Okay. Here we go.
Yes.
Here am I.
Delicious.
Don't you hate when you have like lip gloss on and then your hair gets in your mouth and then it's stuck there, and it's the worst when it's windy because it's just like.
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
It's the worst.
And have you ever done it where like if you just like got your hair dyed and it's really dry and then you try to pull it out and your hair will break on your lip?
Oh my God, no.
Last week I was like,
oh,
I need my
no.
Olaplex. I know.
Well,
I
yeah,
know.
because bleach too, though,
It
is like
happens.
the worst with making your hair brittle.
Nightmares. I have nightmares about it still, you guys.
Well, I'm happy you got through that, Brit.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Astrocandy. My name's Raven. This is Brittany.
Hey, guys.
And welcome. We're so excited you're here. If you love the show, please rate, review, subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. We are there.
We are there.
We've got a presence. And also tell a friend if you know someone who is super into self-help, astro, like honestly, just like day-to-day girly things. Then we're your girls.
I call those people like your spirit friends.
Oh,
like the
yeah.
people you feel like you were just like meant to meet. Like those are your Astrocandy tribe friends, I feel like.
Astronauts.
Spread the word. Oh,
sweethearts. Yeah.
You
We
guys
didn't
know
forget
who they
about
are.
you guys, which by the way, again, let us know. Sweethearts, is that good? Do we have your approval for that?
I committed to it. Like I got a couple DMs and then I was like, let's just do this, you know?
Okay, good.
I went all in.
All right.
Wait,
Well,
sweethearts, yeah, not sugar
sweetheart-
babies.
Not sugar babies.
That was a no.
Okay,
go.
we have a really awesome show planned today. We are talking about our intuition. What is it, and what are the ways that you're already using it, how to tap into it? We've got some good stories as far as like when we used our intuition, when it came in handy, and then just tips to, again, align and really get to know yourself so that way your intuition can do the heavy lifting. And not your brain, because I
love
feel like
that,
when
Raven.
you use your brain to decide some things, it's just a mess. And if you just have that like gut instinct, it's much better.
I agree. I love that.
But until then, we're gonna get into a vibe check. So Brittany, tell me, how's this week been? Have you learned anything? What have you gone through? Like just overall, what's your vibe?
Honestly, my vibe has been really good this week. I was
Yeah?
having some low vibes earlier for obvious reasons. We're all kind of in that place. I feel like it's like up and down.
Right, yeah.
But I got a new book. I got this Scorpio book from Brit and LaRue, which we may have that person as a guest on our podcast.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. So I talked to her a little bit. I just feel like I was just meeting people virtually that are really cool and interesting, and I was in some sort of flow this week.
You were fueling your fire.
I'm feeling good. Yeah, the fire
Yeah.
is raging. How
That's
about you?
good.
Yeah.
Did it like spark creativity?
Yes.
And
Like, I
isn't that
just
the
feel
best?
energetic and-
It's like people like fill you up. You want those people in your life.
Agreed. I feel like when you're in alignment, the universe will bring those people into your life, and then it just like makes you feel more and more energized.
Motivated.
feed on
and
each other's
to
energy.
accomplish more. Yeah, for sure. My vibe is good. I learned something this week. Not learned, but just kind of came to a resolution about my friends who are very well-meaning. Aren't all of our friends well-meaning? I went to vent to one of them, and she said something that I didn't take too personally, but at the time I was a little bit offended by, I guess. I was just, pouring out like, these are my frustrations. This is what I'm going through. And she's like, well, you should be happy that you don't have COVID and that you still have a job.
Ooh,
And
the dreaded should word.
yes. And
a dirty word.
I want to take this quick minute to say that if you are going through something that you feel like is a hard time, please don't let anybody invalidate those feelings. I don't care what another person is going through. Of course, there's going to be people worse off than you. And of course, there's going to be people who are better off than you. But what matters is the reality that you're living in and your feelings. And so please don't let anybody say, oh, well, you should be happy because look at this person. Like, it's your experience, it's your life. So if you're feeling down and mopey and things are not going your way in your world, that's valid. And that's okay. And you should feel those feelings. So
I really love that. I always call those friends or significant others. I told you this is a common fight. Sorry, Michael. I love you, honey. But I got to tell the people. And I feel like those people are fixers because they care about you, and the way that they show that they love you is by trying to make things better.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to be heard.
yes, you just need to like feel it, feel the feelings. It's like we talked about in the breakup episode. The very first thing you need to do is just like sulk and mourn and like cry it out. and then you can start looking on the bright side.
Right.
But for now,
let us mope, you know?
Let's
we want to
cry.
mope, we're going to mope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So today we're going to get into our intuition, which is something that we all have. And it's not, however, something that we all use or know how to use, or really maybe you don't even know exactly what intuition is. And once we kind of flesh it out for you, you'll be like, oh yeah, I use that all the time.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then maybe this will help you use it in decision makings. Oh, hey, 3 apps are updated. Thanks.
Like,
my computer just went off, so.
It was like you got mail. I
know. I was like, hello? This
Well,
thing is very quiet usually, but anyway.
Chatty today.
So, as far as intuition and what it is, I boiled this down to something that is as simple as, I think it's very simple and just bite-sized, hence like Astrocandy. Intuition is knowing without relying on a reason.
Knowing without, I like that. Yeah, like you don't need to pin it down.
You just know. You didn't analyze it. You didn't, study, research. You just have this knowledge of something or someone, or just, it's a gut feeling. It's a hunch.
Totally.
And it doesn't require any logic, which is kind of powerful.
Super powerful and nice to just be able to like trust what you're feeling, or like that inner knowing, really.
Yeah.
It's a knowing.
Yes.
And it comes from within. I know you have like a lot of things that you want us to make sure that we communicate. So I'm going to let you, I don't want to get into it yet because I loved your layout. Sorry guys. That was a little behind the scenes.
Yeah. We have very like structured
we like to lay it out
rundowns.
so we get through it.
For me though, I think my intuition is like a gravitational pull towards something, or it could be like that magnetic resistance. So, when you have 2 magnets and you try to put them together, but they just like, you can't because they're the same. I don't know the
that's
the
a really
science
good way
behind
to,
it.
yeah.
But sometimes I have that kind of feeling towards something like, ooh, like a resistance, and I don't know why, or just like a magnetic, like, oh, I need to be closer to this, or this is something that I believe in or I want. And I, again, don't know why, because you don't use your logic to decipher it, but you just have that gut feeling. Brittany, what about you?
So I love the way you describe it as like a magnet thing, because it is like I kind of told you earlier, it's like a hum. Like, I don't know, I would say it's just like this feeling that you kind of have that you can't define. It feels like it's just sort of an aura or something. But I could see it being like just that energy. And I had to learn, like, is my intuition this feeling of just like that I can't define, or is it my fear? Because
that's good.
In the past, I would be like really intense about a situation. Like, for example, I think this person is lying to me or someone's cheating on me, something like that, right? And there's a fear response. And I learned that that's not your intuition. Like, that's some shadow work stuff. That's some fears. That's some hidden trauma, things you have to work through. And your intuition is a lot more subtle.
Yeah.
It's just that feeling. It's like you don't really feel motivated to do anything about it yet.
Right. It's not anxiety ridden.
Exactly.
It's
and I
not
think
like-
that's how you know
yeah.
that that's something you need to pay attention to.
Well, that's good and important. So keep that in mind, because I do feel like sometimes you're like, is this intuition or am I just being insecure?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not sure, but you just summed it up perfectly. Insecurity, there's a fear with that. Intuition, it's more like a, this resonates with me in a way, and you have it's not like, oh, I need to do this or I have to do this. You're just kind of like,
Right.
okay, taking notes.
Anxiety and fear are like intense and frenetic.
Yes.
And intuition is gentle
Yes.
and
Yeah.
just a knowing. Like you said, it's a knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
When have you used your intuition?
Oh my gosh, like all the time. I feel like, well, I mean, I just am more into like being spiritual and all that. And I feel like the more that you meditate, the more that you read about spiritual stuff and just kind of let yourself be in your feels, you just kind of connect with it. So I think I use it a lot. And when I am not using it and I start overthinking things, that's when I actually see myself kind of getting into trouble.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What about you?
I do use oh my God, did I just spit on you? I'm
I
so
hope
sorry
so.
if I did.
Yes.
My God.
It's a new perfume.
This is not,
Thank you.
This is not COVID friendly. When do
sorry
I use
about
my
that, guys.
intuition? Every day, like you said. I know, that was so silly. I'm sorry. This was going so well.
I
until
love you.
fucked it all up.
It's fine. This is enjoyable.
Actually, this is good because I needed to like loosen up. I'm kind of Brittany can probably tell I'm a little bit stiff because it's just been a weird week and I've been processing a lot. So I'm happy I spit on you.
I'm happy you did too. And we all understand that. I mean, we know that our astronauts understand that. I get it. Like, oh my gosh.
It's Thanks for bearing with me.
It's one of those things.
Today.
And if this is your stressed,
I think like
give me some of that stress.
Yeah, I'm just like buttoning it all up. But anyway, intuition, yes, I use it on the daily, on the regular. I do fight it like anybody else, especially when it's your intuition will tell you things you don't even want to know.
It's the worst. It does.
You know what I mean? It's like, crap. Now I have to like acknowledge this and decide. But I will tell you a funny story, which is funny now in hindsight, as most things are. But at the time it was tragic.
Oh no.
I was seeing this guy in college who was a player.
Yeah,
I knew
that bad boy type.
My intuition knew that. But there was just this one girl in particular who he would just be around, make eyes at, I thought, or just a little too friendly, flirty, but nothing's happening.
And you're probably thinking, am I crazy? Oh, you're probably judging yourself. Yeah.
My intuition was like, oh, girl, he be cheating on you with that girl right there. And of course, like you reason.
Right.
And you analyze and you say, oh no, and you use logic, but you can't when it's your intuition. And years later, well, maybe not years, I would say a year later, I found out that, yes, they did in fact have sexual relations while we were together. And that's why you should listen to your intuition.
But I like how you said, like, there was no, like, way to pinpoint it. And that's the thing about intuition.
Oh, I know.
You can't point it, like, you get pinpointed on something, which is why you have to get really good at trusting yourself and validating your own feelings, like what you said in the vibe check. And you have to get good at it. It's like a practice.
And what you said, too, because you can't pinpoint it, it makes you feel crazy. It's like, well, what? No. Like, I'm just being... again, then insecurity, you might think you're being insecure or this is a fear. Like, it's a lot to decipher, but luckily we're here to help you out. And we've got some tips to tap into your intuition to really strengthen it. So that way you won't be second guessing, is this my intuition or is this insecurity? And the first one I have is probably going to be the first step to anything we talk about on Astrocandy, but it's getting quiet and meditating or journaling. Spending time with yourself. That is, the better you know yourself, the better and more intuitive you'll be.
I love that. Do you have a way that you kind of do it personally? Like, what is your routine, and how often do you do this?
My routine, every day I journal, and I make time I try to get up and be downstairs in my kitchen by 8 a.m., and that's where I'll drink my morning coffee and have my little journal out, and I will just... Right. That's usually for manifestations, but when it comes to, like, if I'm really in the thick of something, especially as it pertains to my personal life, I have this other journal.
There's another...
There's two journals.
Then there's the real journal. That's the one you want to find, you know?
Yeah, no kidding. Actually, no, I would be... Oh, my God.
You would never.
Blacklisted from everyone in my life. No... I'll do that one at night because I just feel like it's more of a free flowing of just the messy thoughts that you've had all day.
Yeah.
So manifestations in the morning and then just like the
messy thoughts at night.
Scribbling and emo at night.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that you do that.
Me.
Yeah, I feel like it's good to get it out on paper instead of like, with your, significant other or maybe a friend or a family member. It
honestly saves a lot of, the amount of fighting my boyfriend and I don't do. Just because I spend time with myself, and he actually meditates. He meditates every day he says it's for mindfulness, which is true. That's what it's for. But I think he doesn't realize it also is just helping in so many other ways.
Totally.
Like strengthening your intuition.
Strengthening your intuition, exactly.
So, there's that.
I love that.
The next one, and I think we've all felt this, no pun intended, but when you have an energy shift about something, when you make a decision and it's like, weight lifted off your shoulders, that's a good, that's your intuition telling you something. Do you ever have that,
100%.
like, sigh of relief feeling?
Yeah, and like, it's weird when it's something that, like, I've had that happen with like a job, for example. And I really wanted this thing, like this job, this whatever. And when it didn't happen, I had like a relief, that feeling of relief. I was like, that is weird because I thought I wanted it, but I really didn't want it. Same thing with a breakup. Like that's happened with a breakup before.
Yeah. Or how
Bizarre.
when you decide something and then after that, everything is just like working in your favor.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
like
oh,
everything
heck
changes.
Yeah. Like I
You're in your
definitely,
zone.
yes, that's a good one too.
So on the energy thing, another thing that I like always try to pay attention to with intuition is if you feel energized around someone or something like an idea, a project, a person, or if you feel like drained, because that's your intuition too. And I feel like that's that part of you like communicating things that you might not be aware of.
Yes.
And it's kind of like how you know, because energy vampires are real, guys.
True. And similar to that, your intuition can show up in your body. Like your body does have a physical response to something. So if you're working at a job that you know in your bones, that's your intuition, that this is not meant for you, like you will have a slouch about you. You'll have a grumpy face, and it sounds silly. And I'm explaining it in silly terms.
No, but it's good though.
But
it's like
true.
actually
you will
what it looks
walk
like.
around with just this almost weighted feeling.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And it'll show up in your posture. I know that sounds crazy.
No. That's so true.
And maybe you feel under the weather more. Just a sense of exhaustion. You're sleeping a lot more. Just things like that you have to be keen on.
Have you ever felt like, this is like pre-COVID example, like you're really tired and it's a Friday night, and, someone invites you to do something really fun and all of a sudden you feel totally energized and you're like, yeah, and you're like ready to go?
No, because I'm so antisocial, but you obviously
But you guys know. And then that's how you know you're like, okay, well, so it wasn't just like this day, like maybe I'm not tired, I just need to like be inspired.
True. For me, it's usually the opposite. Like I have something fun planned and then it gets canceled and I'm like, yes, I feel so much more like myself now.
Well, see, yeah, it just depends on what you like,
The next thing is, and I love this because I do this all the time. People think I'm a little weird for it. I know my friends give me crap, but synchronicities and signs from the universe that you're just like on the right track. For me, it's angel numbers. And we want to do an episode on angel numbers and
I'm obsessed with them too.
like those signs from the universe. But a lot of the time I'll see like 111 or 1111, 444, 333. And that's how I kind of know, like it puts a pep in my step. It makes me know that the universe has my back, especially if I'm going through the thick of something, making a decision, and I've resonated with a decision and those little things are popping up. We saw 444 today.
We saw 444 like when we were prepping. And 4 is a number about like work and building a foundation.
Which look at us.
Look at us now.
We're just working hard. Where's your hammer?
We were prepping though, like for the show. And it just, I feel like that was like the universe saying, okay, like, yep, good job. Keep prepping. Like you're doing what you're supposed to do today. Like giving us that energy, like that boost, like you said.
Yeah.
I love the angel number thing.
I don't know. I just, people look at me funny when I'm like, oh, angel numbers. And they're like, you're just waiting for the clock to hit 444. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you.
You guys, who are these friends? Tell them, it's okay. Like we need to get a little more.
I know. They need to watch more
I don't want to judge. I don't want to
Astrocandy.
judge the friends.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah, tune in, guys.
The next one is actually something we've discussed in a previous episode about doing your shadow work. If you do your shadow work, you're going to be more in touch with yourself and therefore more in touch with your intuition. So go inside, see what this is actually taking a look at those insecurities and fears and seeing how they play out in your everyday life, tackling them, reining them in, understanding them, and then they'll get out of the way so you can be better connected to your intuition.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. So you just made me think of like when I was younger, and tell me if you've had this experience too. When I was younger, I don't think I knew the difference between my intuition and like my fears.
Right.
So I would like act on whatever thing I thought was true, and that was part of like immaturity or whatever. I would just act on that thing. And then when I got older, like now I feel like I have more like awareness. Like I'll stop myself and I'll be like, hold on, like that little self-talk, like, wait, what are we feeling?
Yeah.
What are we feeling? Like, are we insecure right now? Is this a fear from something else? And I won't act on it. And I think that like the more you get to know yourself through journaling or meditation or like whatever it is for you, because we all have that different way that just feels right for us, it does get easier to be intuitive.
Right.
And you can boost that.
You, Brittany, just cracked the code, actually.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't even know if you realized it.
Thank you. I hope so. Jeez.
When you first started talking about fear versus intuition, fear is here in your head. Fear comes in the form of thoughts, active thoughts. Intuition, there are no thoughts. It's a gut feeling, truly. Like, it's just something in your, well, what chakra is this?
Ooh, okay.
You know,
this is your solar plexus chakra, which is the chakra that has to do with the self. So it's your truth. It's like your spiritual self.
Oh my God.
Your
I love
authentic
that
self.
for us.
Raven.
That's
okay.
pretty cool.
And you just connected something like, oh my gosh.
So anyway, we
Way
can
to
just
bring it back
stop
to the
now
ancient
because I don't think
chakras.
we're gonna get
Some
better than
ancient
this.
wisdom.
Oh man, one more thing though that
So
I do
good.
think is a great intuitive tool is tarot. And we like to do this thing on our show. It's called Spirit Guide, where someone writes in, gives us a scenario, and we just pull a card based on the energy that we get. And it sort of acts as advice moving forward. Now, the key to this is this advice will or won't resonate with someone. And if it doesn't, then it's not meant for you. And that's your intuition telling you that.
And maybe you were just the person who was meant to share this, and there might be like 2 other Astro-Fam members who hear the message and they're like, oh my gosh, that's me. Like, has that happened to you? Like,
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to a podcast, you're like,
For sure,
like,
yep.
aha moment.
And you're like, I'm so happy that person
guys.
wrote in. So for this one, we have, wow, this is loaded
This
right
one's
off the
intense.
bat.
Yeah. Buckle up,
Should
guys.
I get dinner with my ex? He's hurt me in the past, and I've since made a new life elsewhere, but he's in town and he wants to see me. I spent half a year getting to know him and pursuing a relationship with him, and then he dumped me. I came to my senses, moved back home, and now I have my own career. He's in town for the night, and he wants to see me. Should I bother spending a night with him? And if I do, should I play it cool or be all sugar like I usually am? What do we think?
So here's what Spirit says.
Oh.
I know what I think.
Oh, God.
And I do agree with Spirit. You guys, we got the 5 of Cups. So this is someone who, if you look at them, their cups are spilled. This is a card that signifies disappointment, loss in love, because cups are all about your emotions. So Spirit says no, that you're going to end up feeling like this feeling of loss. But Raven, what do you think about that? Would you do this?
Even if you're not going to feel this way, you obviously have in the past.
Oh, yeah, you're so right.
And I just
why
feel
he's the
like
ex, I
this
guess.
is a great reminder. And I think Spirit's reminding you of this for a reason. Now, whether you go or not, I mean, it's not like we can be like, oh, it's just going to end in heartbreak. It might not. But this person definitely had a tough
impact on
on your heart, and I think you need to be conscious of that. So I would not meet up with the ex. I think like going to the past is just never a place you want to be.
Yep.
I have been in my thoughts about the past recently. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm never there. I'm always a future thinker, and let me tell you, nothing good comes from thinking about the past, the people in our past, like just moving forward, now and forward. So that's my advice.
I like that, the forward movement thing. I definitely, in the past, have been someone who's about like second chances. Second, third, fourth, who knows, guys? Don't judge me. No, I'm kidding. But like, my opinion, just based on my experience, and this might not be right for this person or for you guys, but in my opinion, anytime I've done that and I've given someone in a love relationship like a second or third chance, it has not been good. And I feel like the reason that it didn't work out was always the core issue that never really goes away.
Yes.
And so kind of like an episode that we did recently about negotiation and knowing your worth, I feel like when you know your worth and you make that step and you walk away, like you have to just stick with it. Like you have to stick with that thing, and it's hard to do in any situation.
Yes.
But I feel like if you really know that's the right thing, don't risk it, because once you're with that person, once you're having a couple drinks over dinner, you kind of forget what went wrong. You're having fun.
So
the old feelings can come back, and then before you know it, you're like 5 of Cups, you know?
I know. Yeah.
5
we
of Cups
see
vibes.
he's very sad.
So
he's wearing all black. It's like a funeral over here.
Well, yeah. But you know, if you do want to see this person because it's your energy right now, you feel free, you feel empowered,
Hey,
you
you
want to
got
see
that
him,
free will, girl.
then do it. But just know,
Possibility, because
who knows
it's
what can happen,
happened
right?
in the past.
Take a risk.
Okay, so let's end the show with a modern day mantra.
Yay.
Which is from someone who's not so modern day, but
know what you mean. We know.
His legacy lives on. Albert Einstein says, the only real valuable thing is intuition.
If Albert Einstein said that,
It's
then
true.
I'm going to take that.
Honestly, though.
That's fact.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't even have to go into this because it's just so point blank. It is what it is. The only real valuable thing is intuition. So thank you so much for tuning in to Astrocandy. We love having you here today, whether you're watching on YouTube. Please subscribe if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Play. Is that what it's called? Google Play?
Yep. Spotify?
Spotify. I mean, we're everywhere, and we love that you're here with us. So please rate us, review, subscribe. And yeah, next week, what's going on? Oh, I didn't do a tease, but I do have next show, and we are talking about high vibe habits for surefire success. I know
I like this.
time in everyone's life is so crazy, and we're kind of on a low vibe right now.
Right.
But we're gonna get you to high vibe so you can power through all this madness and accomplish the goals that you set out at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, let's get that boost. Okay. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye.